is someone who's taking labs or someone who's in an experiential situation, a scenario. They're not on the roof, being shot at, but they might be in one of these scenario labs that we saw at the Navy or at the British Telecom. Tank is some LMS platform which has universal searching built into it, and type away at what you need. And then the matrix of content, this is the cool thing, the content can be off-the-shelf content, or a lot of these LMSs today or LCMSs can incorporate customer content as well, so it becomes your own knowledge base. So I think the nirvana, obviously, we're going to is learning at the moment of the need, highly motivated student, universal contextual searching of the universe of content, and then just straight to the cerebral cortex.
If the nirvana would be that she actually recognized what kind of helicopter it was. I mean, we're dealing with people who need to know what kind of helicopter it is. They don't know the expertise. They don't know the context. They don't know what words to search for.
They don't know what they don't know or what they need to know. And I think the virtuous cycle, yeah.
Cell phone cameras are for you. Take a picture of the helicopter and say, you need to learn how to fly this.
So, I mean, is there an element that teaches right before you get to that contextual searching, that they know how to even structure what they need to know?
It's interesting. That brings up, let me answer that with a quick example from this innovation tour I was just on. There's a company, I don't know if it was UPS or who it was, but they were saying that they actually have classroom events to teach people how to do e-learning. I thought that was very interesting. Because they're trying to culturally move their people away from classroom events to e-learning, but people just aren't doing e-learning. So they said, okay, we'll have a classroom. We'll get everyone together and we'll show you how cool e-learning is. And then you'll go do e-learning. So maybe we need something, learning on how to use the tool and learning about, you asked another question earlier about the level of the Navy people, right? She wouldn't have been sent on that mission if she didn't have at least sufficient knowledge to recognize the type of helicopter, maybe. Maybe that was a different kind of training that she had previously.
Well, I'm talking about like training consultants who are going to go out in the field and they have to recognize, is this a human problem, is this a system problem, is this a management problem, and just recognizing.
But isn't that a level of training? Don't they have to be taught how to recognize?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just a more preliminary level of training is what I was getting at, is, maybe we're at level 2 and they need that at level 1. So the 4 truths of in-the-job training, this is the wrap-up, I promise. All training is moving towards in-the-job, and you can get there. Everyone is starting at different points and taking different paths, as we know. Some people are leveraging technology, while others are implementing learning policies. So EDS, for example, said, okay, everybody has to have 80 hours, and here's how we're going to do it. The Navy or maybe British Telecom decided that they were going to just make all of the experiential learning sandboxes available to everyone. So they're approaching it from a technology perspective. But no matter how you get there in the nexus of learning, you must cross the bridge of experiential. So here's our mad scientist again. We've got the classroom, the structured element, the unstructured, the bridge, and then, of course, the nirvana in the job. And we end with one of my absolute favorite quotes of all time. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And one of the examples of probably one of the most innovative learning tools that we currently have available to us just because of its ubiquity, and that's the iPod. So, thank you and good night. No. Thank you. No, that's so, you're too kind. Well, that was collaborative. I appreciate, this is my first KMI meeting, but I do appreciate the level of collaboration and you guys all jumping in and asking the questions, because that's what makes it valuable. It's because what you did is you collaborated, you made it relevant, you got what you needed when you needed it. Some experiential learning just happened. Yeah?
2 things. One, Dr. Canals, you talk about taking your own path through learning. What some of his ideas are all about, or part of it anyway. The thing that I'm most interested in is if you can get that experience, we started to touch on it, but getting individuals to contribute things that other people can learn from. And,
yes.
And so not just documents and products of, like, I work in consulting, and so we end up with deliverables.
Yes.
And other consultants can look at those deliverables and say, I can make use of that when I deliver to my client. So that's, they can learn from
These objects of content.
It's still
Yeah.
just a document. It's not actually teaching them anything other than reading it. But somehow if we can get people, and this is sort of what I was thinking about storytelling, but because it's something that people can
Relate to, digest.
But is there some way to package it better from the masses as opposed to having to always push it down from above? Even if you're breaking it into these snippets, it's still coming down from above.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best analogy would be a mesh network, versus a centralized, distributed, where if you have everyone kind of collaborating together, and there's a peer level of collaboration that occurs in some of our innovations that's very, very powerful, because everybody becomes a student and a teacher at the same time. There's one customer that's using the iPod Shuffle, for example, for people to record stories or record content or record experiences, and then they're podcasting that, and they give all their employees iPods and everyone listens to it. There's some gaming kind of technology. You all remember Dungeons and Dragons or EverQuest, some of these three-dimensional kind of online gaming places where people can collaborate together. Wikis and blogs are a perfect example. If we could find a way to document wikis, maybe make them more video, you need to make it more multisensory. I think what you're getting at is, to a certain degree, a document that someone reads, is one aspect of learning, but it's not the only aspect of learning.
Swan, somebody like IBM is big enough to where you guys could have a very effective wiki system, a self-policing type of content repository.
Well, we do, yeah.
Yeah.
With multi-sensory components, some stories that are audio or visual,
we do wikis and we have podcasts, and what I find to be some of the most useful learning materials are there's a lot of recording of presentations now.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody presents on a product or on a service offering or something, and it's all recorded now.
Just like this.
So that, just like this. So that now you can go back in and you can see that, and at the very least you can see who was presenting that, who are the people that were presenting that material, and now you can go to them and find out more information from them. I find that to be pretty useful.
My only comment on that is that when you record a full video of somebody talking, going through that whole video is
tedious.
Yeah. What we need is a system of encapsulating that whole video into a smaller summary. It's like audio books,
Or get abstracts.
Span.
Instead of chunks, it's liquefied.
Yeah.
How do I get to the center?
That's right.
I'm going to throw something out there, and it's just kind of a philosophical debate on this. As you're talking about, organizing stories and, keeping everything so that the next group will know the same things, you have to be careful that you don't institutionalize things too much, because then you're going to lack innovation. People are going to always do things. We've done this before. This is this person on the video saying this is how it's done, and you really run a danger of too much institution, and you lose that innovation.
In genetics, we call that inbreeding. But yeah, I mean, if everyone's doing the same thing that everyone did before, then yeah. But I think the approach of having multiple ways and multiple pieces of content, there's so much experience in all of our lives. I mean, this is, gosh, they did a movie, and I can't remember, but it was about the guy where it was a reality show, and everyone just watched his entire life on television. It was Jim Carrey. Yeah, The Truman Show, right? And so if we did that, imagine a very, very large repository of knowledge where everybody's experiences were documented, and then we could somehow search that repository for a nugget of information that was valuable to us about a task or something. I think that's kind of where we want to get, but that's that's boiling the ocean. So how do we presentations might be kind of too structured, but the Truman Show is too unstructured. We need something in between.